What is up, my fellow dirtbags? We were back at it today with a tournament that we just won, an RTT. It was actually the biggest RTT we've had at this store since I've been there. Came back about almost 2 years ago now, playing 9th edition. Took a huge hiatus with the game, but when we came back, I started this. Found the store in Bluebell, which met back up with Jack, who's a longtime player, and we kind of created a store from. I mean, he's been running it forever, but like ever since we got there, we've been more focused on tournaments. The terrain setup is amazing. The mats that they got, the layout, the people that run the tournament, Craig and Chuck, like the store has picked up so much in the past 2 years. I'm super proud of them. I'm super proud of being the cuddle buddy and kind of joining the team and running with the store. So we actually had the biggest RTT at the store in 2 years. So first off, just want to say super proud of that. But if you guys are clicking on this video, it's going to be a step-by-step guide on Grey Knights in a local RTT. Now you guys can take a lot of ideas and planning events and structure your list kind of based off what I did. But I've been running Grey Knights for the past 2 years since I came back. Just looked at ITC rankings. I don't really know or care what it means, but we are 7th in the United States, I believe. 1st in the Northeast, 13th in the world on Grey Knights. Just to let you know on how long I've been playing Grey Knights for. So we're going to go over kind of pictures because I can't record during the events, but if you guys have seen any of my other previous events, we have Death Guard winning the Goonhammer. We have a couple local RTTs, and we have Mythos GT, which is coming up soon in 2 weeks, which is what we're practicing for. So I have Manfest this weekend, so I'm not going to have a tournament, but we're going to get a bunch of practice games this week and next week going into Mythos, which I am, yes, bringing Grey Knight. So look out for that video. But this has happened about 2 weeks ago. I had a lot going on, so we're about to record the video. But again, it's going to be step-by-step guide on pictures, each matchup, what I learned, what I took away, and what I'm going to change in my next upcoming list, which I've already changed the list a little bit, even switching up the Brotherhood to kind of, play my Mythos GT coming up. So first off, we're going to go over the list. I'm going to show you the first picture we have just so you guys can look at the list. So let's pull that up for you now. Booyah. Let me minimize me so I'm not in your way for all these videos. All right, cool. You guys don't care about me. So took if any of you know, when you are a content creator on YouTube and you post a picture about the comment section, like you just post on your channel, it gets deleted. I don't know why, but every time I've been posting pictures saying like, hey, we're playing, beers in 40k, it just gets deleted. This one got deleted. I don't know why, so if somebody can let me know, it's freaking annoying. But this was the setup in the early morning. We have about 10 tables. We even had to put 2 tables in the basement, which don't worry, we play down there every single Monday. But it was so packed that we had to get more tables, which we have plenty of terrain for, which is cool. But this is the list just so you guys can see. We ran a Blades of Victory, which is probably one of my favorite Brotherhood. We have the Grand Master, Nemesis Dreadknight. He's got everything you possibly could put on him. He's got the Sigil, which is the shunt. He's got Empyric Amplification. He is taking Ghostly Bonds, which I was trying on him just because he's always up front, and I want to bring Ghostly Bonds for our Emperor's Children list, the Chaos list, Demons, like anybody that you don't want to get in your face, even a Tyrannid player, you kind of want to cast it on their HQ or their big unit that's running at them, and so that way it halves their movement speed, including the advance speed, because advance is a movement, so you would have that. So Emperor's Children only threaten 18 inches with their stupid stratagem, so if you cut that in half, their threat range including charging is only 18 inches. So if they happen to roll 12 on charges, then they would get to you, but I doubt they're going to do that. So that's what we're testing out with the Grandmaster here. We did bring, he's got a sword, Psycannon, Psilencer, and the 3++ Anvil and save once per game. And I think that's, and he's got the Blades of Victory, Warlord trait, and everything within 6 inches is OPSEC. Draigo, he's got Empyric Amplification, Gate of Affinity, and I believe Sanctuary in this game. And then we have a Tech Priest, which has Gate of Affinity and auto heal 3. We brought 2 Dreadknights in this matchup, so we brought one with a sword, one with a hammer. They both have Empyric, or they both have Gatlings and Psycannons, and one of them has the shunt on them. We brought 2 small units, or this one might be one small unit of servitors. They're just kind of monkeys to do some back end, so they can't deploy deep strike in our back zone, and also they can put up a banner turn 1 on your home objective. We brought a trusty rhino. We love that extra 3 inches for the movement with our interceptors. We brought 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 interceptors. They all have swords. They all have swords as well, so they're not technically modeled with swords, but they all have swords because I don't want to put on fucking 25, 30 extra swords on all my models. But we have 3 strikes with incinerators. I just love the incinerators, the extra strength 6, AP 1 damage, auto hitting. It's good for Overwatch if you need it, but it's just if they deep strike, they get an auto flamer to kind of help out with the teleport assault. So that's the list. Pretty basic. We're running Prescient. No, I'm sorry. We're running Blades of Victory. So the Blade of Victory, we get the extra 6-inch pregame move with our Warlord and a core unit, which is basically everybody within 9 inches at the start of the battle round. So first game, we are going against Adeptus Custodes. I haven't played Custodes in a very long time. They kind of dropped out of the meta. But his list had 3 bike units, kind of standard. 3 bike units, the bike captain, 2 dreadnoughts, 2 units of Sisters of Silence, I believe 3 units of the walking boys, and obviously Trajan. Trajan has everything kitted out on him, and the bike champion has everything kitted out, 5++, invulnerable or mortal wound save, and no. This Brotherhood was the 4 mortal wound save, which of course is perfect against Grey Knights. And also he's got the 5 Feel No Pain. So very good. It's a newer Custodes player, but he was very good and very fun to play against. Very competitive, which is cool. He actually went to the Palladium GT or RTT right after this one, which I met up with him again. So this was the first mission. We ran Sanctuaries, Abandoned Sanctuaries. And of course, when you're running Blades of Victory, this means nothing for you because you can't advance move into no man's land. So I was like, great, that's a good first mission. Pretty simple setup. This is the terrain for all of the games. We have 2 line of sight blocking terrains in these corner here. We have 2 ruined terrains, which is if you're in the ruin, you can see into it. If you're out on the other side, it's obscuring. We have obscuring ruins back here, and then these 2 in the middle are obscuring ruins in the middle. 4 forest, 2 long ones on these sides, and then 2 small ones on the other side. Yeah, so pretty simple setup. We've set this up for the past 1.5 years now, and it's good because it blocks a lot of lanes and line of sights. The only 2 difference with Games Workshop is really just these 2 on the corners. Games Workshop blocks line of sight, these do not. So let's go into deployment. So this was a deployment, pretty standard. This was our deployment. He had first turn, so I was actually able to redeploy all my units outside of his shooting of the Dreadknights and shooting line of sight of the other dudes. I really wanted to get line of sight and go first on this just to try and blow up a bike unit on turn 1 because I had my guy I was going to shun him, gate another one, and move the other one out so I can get line of sight on all these guys, but I had to redeploy. So we redeploy very cautiously. You put everybody in line of sight, blocking behind this terrain and out of line of sight of these guys. These interceptors are out of line of sight over here. And then he had turn 1. So turn 1 was pretty simple. He kind of ran everything forward. Bikes, 2 units of bikes got on the objectives. A unit of bikes stayed back to try and be defensive. Everybody else kind of moved up. These guys got on the objective in the center. Now, I don't have a lot of OBSEC, and he does for these walking guys, and they're pretty hard to kill, especially in cover. So what I did on turn 1 is I really trying to have him pop his strats that only gets once per game as soon as possible. And we did that with the bikes over here. So we lined up our Grandmaster over here. He actually gated, I believe, all the way over to here, which then he put Empyric Amplification out on one of these bike units. The other 2 guys were able to get line of sight on the bike units, and we just shot the shit out of the bike units. He rolled pretty good, but we were still able to kill the 3 bikes with Empyric Amplification, and the other random shots did some wounds to the last bike over here. Now, we hopped both of our interceptors out from behind this building, out 12 inches to get a charge off on here. Now, this is me not playing Custodes in a very long time, but they have the minus D6 or whatever, surefoot on my guys. So I totally forgot about that. Luckily, I rolled like a 6 to get the 4-inch charge. And yeah, I think he rolled a 1 on that strat. But everything else kind of just hopped out over here to finish off these 2 bikes. Now, they didn't die. I didn't do a ton of damage, and I think 1 or 2 of them lived. And over here, we did the same exact thing. The guys in the Rhino, we moved the Rhino up against the wall because you get the extra 3 inches. So the Interceptors charge 15 inches out of the Rhino. If you guys are Grey Knights players, if you could fit a Rhino in and you're running a lot of Interceptors, try and fit a Rhino in. It's so good. It doesn't really do much. It could be used to charge units that you don't want to have overwatch to your main units. It could block up units if you know they can't kill Rhino in melee, or it can just block charge lanes. So you run it out, like say you put a Rhino like right here against a vehicle, and the vehicle is trying to get through this little way. It can't, because this is a building and it can't go through the building. So you basically run the Rhino out to here, and now it can't move past the Rhino. It has to kill the Rhino, charge the Rhino, or just go all the way around the other side. So there's a lot of things you can do with the Rhino. I'd actually might make a video on that, but you plop it up 1 inch away from the wall so it can't be charged through the wall, and you just get them out 3 inches, which is 2 inches on the other side of the wall, and then boom, they move 12, and now they're moving essentially 14 inches away from this wall to get whatever charge they want off. So that was basically turn 1. We kind of just tried to get as many key units down as we could. He put both of his sisters in the back so he could stop my deep striking and gating. He left 2 dreads in the back, which I don't think he should have. I think he should have deployed them a lot more aggressively up front. And then these guys stayed back on the objective. So going into this turn, I moved up, killed my units, put 4 OBSEC guys on the objective. These bikes have the bolters. The other ones had the salvo launchers. So these bikes moved up and just shot a shit ton into these guys, which I had a 2-up save in cover. So didn't really kill a lot of Grey Knights with the bolters. These other guys are super fast. They can run, and I think they ran 6 inches, both of them. So they went from all the way back here all the way up in my face, which was not fun. Citizens of Silence started moving up, but they kept still 9 inches away from the backfield, so I can't gate back there. Trajan started moving his bitch ass out here to basically kill literally everybody over here. And then these guys fell back, and they can charge with a stratagem. So these 2 guys who lived fell back and charged into my Grandmaster. I did, I think, proc my 3++ save. No, I didn't. I saved it for Trajan. But I made my saves, and I came back and killed these 2 dreads. Over here, we're just kind of chilling back on this back objective. I'm doing my psychic ritual every single turn. The 2 dreads over here are kind of sitting back and just shooting long range. We have the tech priest giving them +1 to hit every single turn, and healing. And we saved our strikes right here to come out. This fucking bike captain came out and charged the unit over here. So he just murdered everybody over here, which was super fun. And let's get into our next turn. Next turn, we finished off these bikes. Trajan killed the rest of my infantry. This guy started moving out to charge Trajan to go Grandmaster versus Grandmaster. I have 9 wounds left over here. And then these strikes and interceptors are trying to finish off these guys in the center. These dreads are scaring me. They keep walking closer towards me. These guys are still alive. You'll see what he does with these, which is super smart on his part. My dreads moved up to try and fight his captain over here, because I needed an answer to kill these dreads and fight the bike captain all on my left side. So let's go on to the next turn. The center, we have rerolls all hit and rerolls from Draigo. So reroll all hit from Draigo and Sanctuary, or I'm sorry, Hammerhand on these guys, which are super, super good combo. So I think I took this picture because they just murdered these 3 dudes. Like, it wasn't even fair. This guy's left on 1 wound up here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the objective, so I'm taking over the center objective. But yeah, that combo is what I started really focusing on in my future lists. Draigo, Grandmaster, and this guy whiffed completely on this attack. He has 7 wounds or 6 wounds or something. I have 9 left. I saved all my saves and failed and wounded him once or twice, and then he saved all of his saves, and we were just literally sitting there. This one, Draigo got charged by this guy. All of these dreads are kind of in line here. And then this is kind of wrapping up this turn. So I just want to show you what these bikes do. So these bikes finally charged over everybody. He could have just walked up and shot and charged these guys, but he's like, you know what? I'm going to take your backfield objective. So he hops over everybody, shoots everything into these guys, and then finishes off with a charge, which if you can take over a backfield objective and take down a banner, because I took banners in this one, which was dumb, that's a 5-point swing just from clearing off this back objective. So we have the Dreadknight and this Dreadknight. finished off this dude on the other side. I did with my hammer D3 plus 3 wounds on his bike captain. He failed. I think I did like 15 wounds or something to him. Like it was a lot. And he failed, I don't know, 10 saves or whatever, 10 feel no pain saves. But yeah, so this turn for me is the one that completely threw it into my direction. I feel like at this point on turn 2 or 3, I was going to lose this game, which is what I get because I haven't played Custodes in a long time and this is a good player. So after this turn, look at what happens. Draigo finally kills Trajan. Like finally. These guys dead, but I had my Dreadknight walking over to finish off or shoot and finish off these guys. This Dread annihilates this other Dread with the hammer. Like the hammer isn't bad if you could put rerolls to hit on it from Draigo. So the banner or this hammer completely kills his Dread, takes this objective over. So on his turn, he lost Trajan, this Dread, the bike captain, and he's about to lose these Dreads in one turn. And I deep struck these guys outside of 9 of his sisters, which I just kind of came down on the objective and just flamered the shit out of these guys. Shot and flamered these guys, killed them, got my teleport assault. And that was it. So all it really has is sisters, a Dread, 2 bikes, and 3 dudes left in the middle. Which now he has 1 bike left. I gated this Dread over here to get teleport assault, so that way I can finish off either this Dread or the sisters. And this is wrapping it up. So he has basically 3 guys in the center. Draigo's finally coming out to play. Servitors ran up to try and get more bodies on this center objective so I can take it back and put a banner up. And these guys back here, I think, just chilled out and put a banner. So he has to go back to try and clear his back objective. He left this because he doesn't want to fight Draigo. And I'm kind of spreading out, just trying to get as many points as I possibly can. So he left 1 guy, which has failed his 4-inch charge. I think that was key too. He had like a 4-inch charge twice and he failed both of them, which left these guys in the center. So I had to get teleport assault off. So I basically teleported this guy over to here to finish him off to get the extra 4 points to try and kill the guy for 4 extra points. So wound up winning. We still had all 3 Jareds left on the table. We had Draigo and a strike squad. And that was really it. It was a fucking bloody ass battle. This was the final wrap up. We had main, secondary, purify, banners, and teleport. He took main, secondary, banners, witch, and vital. So we got 0 for vital, which sucked because he has to control more in the center than I do, and I kept taking it back from him. He got 12 for killing the witch, 2 for banners, 8 and 16. So we had 38 total. We don't do pain points till the very end. So I had 45 for the main objective, 15 for purify, 4 for banners. Do not take banners on that setup, that terrain, or that deployment. Not good. And 8 for teleport assault, which I was happy. I think I could have got 4 more, but at the very end, last turn, he saved all of his saves from my Dreadknight. I think he was in cover, so he had like a 2-up save, and he made all of his saves. So I should have had 12 on the teleport assault, but hey, it's a dice game. So 72, 38, Grey Knights. Next one, we have Nolan, who everybody knows Nolan if you've seen him on my channel. Local meta guy. He basically is a good player, runs all tournaments, lets me know all the tournaments that are coming up. But we have Chaos Demons. His list is Belcor, this Corn Demon guy who has the wound cap. Beautifully painted, by the way. 2 or 3 units of the Corn troops. 3x5 flamers, which is in every single list. Nurglings, which are just super annoying. These purple dudes that pop up if you kill them. This disc HQ, this little Psyker chick, unit of Demonettes, and I believe that is it. So that was his list, a pretty good demon list. We played Conversion, which is basically good for him because if he puts his demons out on the front and just gets first turn, he charges me in my face. Corrupted Ground, 4 points. All right, so basically you want to control the objective markers in the center, and you don't get a CP unless your Warlord's on the table. So I knew that going into it, so I wanted to try and kill his Warlord as soon as possible. His Warlord was this guy over here, so I'm like, all right, how fast can we kill the 8 wound cap demon? We lined up to try and put as much pressure as we can on him turn 1. He put his demons pretty far back just so I couldn't shoot them. Turn 1, if I did, I'd have to get pretty close. He can advance deploy these Nurglings, Demonettes, and everything else kind of just stay back here. He's deep struck, I believe, 2 or 3 units of the Corn dudes, and all 3 Flamers. Or you might have left 1 Flamer on the table, so that way Be'lakor can gate them for free anywhere on the table. So pretty simple deployment. We have our Rhino in here somewhere, right here. We have these guys, which I can redeploy 3. The gate guy or the shunt guy I put all the way in the back just because I know if I want to shun him, I can give him +1 to hit and then shun him anywhere on the table. And these 2 I knew I wanted to get into range, so I was going to move up one of my dreads to get in range of this guy instead of moving up an interceptor squad. Usually you want to move up an interceptor squad to move up 6 inches, move 12, and then charge turn 1. But he only had Nurglings in the middle, which I knew I can get there anyway. And Demonettes were all 1 inch away from the wall, so I couldn't charge through the wall. But that's really the game plan, is he can pick a interceptor unit right up front, move him up 6, move him up 12, and then charge turn 1 with Blades of Victory. So that's his deployment. Yeah, I knew he kept unit of Flamers here, just gate turn 1. All right, so my turn 1, I redeployed back because I didn't want the charge and shit from this guy. So I kept everybody within 30 inches so I can at least try and shoot and start nicking this guy down. He wasn't able to get to the objective over here. He was deep striking or gating this Flamer unit from Be'lakor in my back to try and do some damage to this Dread. Now he gets to reroll all wounds or something, or one's the wound, or he gets +1 to wound with a psychic power. So he casts that and then gates them across the table to kind of just nuke something turn 1, which against a Dreadknight, it's strength 4 Flamers, strength 5 Flamers, +1 to wound. You wound on 4s now against my Dread. And that's really it. So it's a shit ton of flame attacks, but you still don't wound too often. And I have a 4-up invuln save. It's only 1 damage. I have 13 wounds. So I think he actually took it down to like 5 or 3 wounds or something. Like he took it down. I don't know if I have the marker. I usually mark him, but he did a bunch of wounds to my Dreadknight. But with auto heal 3 Tech Priest just running up and getting close to him, just healing back up to 2nd bracket, he's good to go. Now they were my first target to try and do gate or the teleport assault, and that's basically what I try to do. Is I try to, even if you gate a Dreadknight in the same exact location that he's in, let's say he moves up 9 and he's in the perfect position to try and kill something, you can still cast gate and gate him up and down exactly where he is, as long as he's outside 9 inches from somebody else. And now if he kills something, it counts as 4 points for gate or teleport assault. So that's a little trick, is like if you don't need to move your Dreadknights too far, you just still want to gate one, so that way you get the power off and it still counts as him gating, shunning, or teleporting to get the 4 points. So I wanted to take all of them down to at least one guy, because the Flamers have a 3-up demon save. And once it's down to one guy, this last Dread over here is going to shoot everything into it to try and get 4 points. Which, if you're going to unload all your Dread into one unit just to get 4 points, it's worth it. I think 100% it's worth it, unless it's literally one guy left, like a guardsman. Then obviously it might not be worth it. But we moved out our interceptors to try and finish off this Nurgling unit. He moved his... this is what happened. So he moved his Psyker out to the center to do interrogation, which then my interceptors hopped out of the Rhino and charged his Nurgling and his Psyker chick. So I killed the Psyker chick, I believe, turn 1. Yeah, turn 1, which took out his interrogation person, so he has to use his big chariot to do interrogation, which obviously you don't want to do. But that was, I think, his mistake right there. And then this Nurgling kind of just chilled there with us in combat. Moved up, Be'lakor ran over here, and that was it. So this turn, let me pause this for you guys. Alrighty, we're back. So this is basically turn 2. The whole goal of this is to keep these fucking guys as far away as I possibly can. So again, we're testing out the ghostly bonds on my Grandmaster. The new list has it just on Draigo, but he is able to cast it 18 inches away. I think it's a 5 to go off, where if you cast it on him, their basically threat range gets cut down to 19 inches if he rolls a 12 to charge. So we kept putting that on his dude all the way up in the corner. He's only got 13 wounds left, but he is wound capped. So I set this turn up to try and get as many smites as I can onto this guy, get as many shots as I can onto this guy so I can get him down as much as possible, and then throw 1 unit of guys into charge range to try and finish him off in melee. Now he's toughness 8, beast. Like if I don't get to kill him, he's going to wipe out the entire squad. So that's the setup. We didn't get Empyric Amplification off. Didn't really need it because he's wound capped. So if I would have only shot him twice, it's not really worth it. So I'd rather just get the Ghostly Bonds in case I do kill him or not kill him. He can't charge my Grandmaster. But we basically lined everybody up. These servitors you can't really see them, but they're in the back corner here. They're holding out my back flank. That's kind of why they're so good. Just the 30-man points. You keep them in the back, and if they want to shoot at them, they shoot at them, but they have armor contempt, and in their cover, it's like a 3-up save if it's AP 1, which is pretty cool. He deep struck these guys to get on the objective. I gated or deep struck my strikes over here to try and finish them off to get teleport shut off. So I have this guy over here, which I deep struck these guys and gated this guy in the same spot, so that way I have 2 chances to try and kill these guys on the objective. So I get them off the objective. That saves me 4 points, and also teleport assault. If I kill them, 4 points. They're not really good against shots, so that's an 8-point swing if I can kill these guys off the objective. Bellicor, now, I'll say this now, I didn't know Bellicor didn't have a wound cap like the other guy does. So knowing this, every time I see Bellicor, I'm probably going to try and kill Bellicor as soon as possible. Because if you just put 1 Empyric Amplification up on Bellicor and then just shoot him with 3 Dreadknights, he's not going to have a good time. So I think that's the next go plan. So he moved out his dude on disc right here to get the ritual off, because the other chick died last turn. So we try to block them off with these demonettes, which if you just shoot the demonettes, they're going to die. So that's basically what we did, was we shot the demonettes, cleared the charge lane so I can get my demon hammer dude interceptor coming out of the rhino and just charging this disc to try and kill it. So that's the game plan for this turn, which it went pretty well, because we got this guy down to like 3 wounds. We charged with these guys. They deep struck over here to get an extra smite off. I think they made their charge. And we wound up with 2 demonettes, the flamers over here, 2 demonettes, and the thing to get 2 combi charges over here. I think I tied up the flamer, so I charged the demonette, and then stay out of 3 inches of Bellicor, and then tied up the flamer, so they couldn't overwatch. So that's the thing, how to kill the flamers is you charge through a ruin where they can't see you, through a wall where they can't see you, or tie them up in combat, or charge them with like a rhino. Now if they kill the rhino, who cares? They overwatch the rhino, then your guys come in for the charge. I think they have a 6-up save in melee, so they die really easily in melee. All right, so that's the end of this turn. So this is what happened. The strikes charged in, these guys charged in, finished off that guy, finished off these 2, tied up the demonettes on the other side of the wall, and finished off this. So it was a really good turn for Grey Knights. Basically, he's got Bellicor, squad of flamers in there, the guys on the objective in the back over there, and maybe 1 or 2 in deep strike. Yeah, so we had these guys in deep strike, flamers in deep strike, and these guys were behind the wall. So they walked up, finished off the guys in combat. These guys made their charge. I think it was like 3d6 to charge. So they made their charge, finished off those guys. And these flamers came down here and just murdered my strikes in the back corner. So we got a unit of tough killing flamers in the middle. We have Bellicor in the middle. I think I got my guys out of the rhino over here. So they hopped out. It's basically just missiles. Like you just keep throwing missiles out of the rhino behind the wall. 2 Dreadknights, Grandmaster, and these guys are about to shoot and kill these guys. So let's see, we wound up by killing, once I started shooting Bellicor and he kept going more wounds, I was like, wait, he's not wound capped? And he's like, no. I was like, shit. So basically we finished off Bellicor as soon as possible. We got a charge off on him. He doesn't have any like fight last, fight first, any of that stuff, so we just needed to charge. Fully buffed up Demon Prince with the hammer, or Dreadknight with the hammer coming in, D3 plus 3 damage, just murdered. And then I think we wound up, these guys came out, try and kill that. They stayed on the objective. I don't think I've shot them off. Yeah, so we wound up with 2 left in the back corner. Grandmaster came into party. These guys came into party. Flamers hopped out to try and kill these guys to get more points. And if you notice, like, this Dreadknight in the back literally just stayed there the entire time, most of the game, just to kind of do some shots. Sorry, girlfriend had a fiance. Sorry, fiance had a question. So we finished off with Grandmaster, Dreadknight. Everybody, I was giving you hints on the Dreadknight in the back. So Dreadknight in the back has the sword, the hammer's up there. So I've been more cautious with the Dreadknights, keeping them back and keeping them 30 inches away from shooting stuff. You have pretty good lanes at Games Workshop terrain, stuff like that. You don't really need to throw them away in melee. You kind of use them as more of like a middle to late game piece. They're defending your backfield. So you have your servitors blocking up the deep strikes, but then you have your Dreadknights in the backfield that can shoot from afar, while Draigo or your Grandmaster is up front doing Empyric Amplification, so that way they get their shots off. Or if somebody comes into your backfield or midfield, you can use them to then start moving up and taking away heavy threats like Dreadknights, Dreadnoughts, big tanky Terminator squads, stuff like that. So anything with like Shrink 4 or 5 is not really going to do a lot of damage to the Dreadknights. We found out the last RTT with Demonettes charging them did like 3 damage. It wasn't a lot. So then I think he had just Flamers and the guys on the other side of the objective left. So what happened to the thing? Oh, okay, so we had these guys left. So we try to gate and shut and do all that stuff to try and get the final 4 points. So let's go over the final tally. We picked Demons, so killing Demons. We got 9 points in one turn, which was brutal. Anytime you face a Demon as a Greatsword player, you definitely want to take it because units are 1 point. Big Demons are 3 points, vehicles are 3 points, and Primarchs I think are 5 points. So even if you get over 15 and they have anything left over, it's still going to usually equate out to 15. So it's a really good secondary for Grey Knights if they're Demons. Teleport Assault, we got 12 points, which averaging around 8 is pretty good. 12 is like for a good game. If you get 15 in one game, you did very, very well. You usually want to try and get off on turn 1. And if you can get off on turn 1, you're going to get 12 to 15 that game. Purifying Ritual, we got up to 11. Haven't been doing really well with that one lately. He took Reality Rebels, which is very good for the Demon player. Nourish the Terror, 5 points, and Warp Ritual, we only got 3 on the second turn. Again, because we killed him on turn 1, which I think I blocked Warp Ritual, and then he did it on turn 2, and then I killed him again on turn 3. 61 points, so he actually got 61 points because he had 38 on primary, and I had 75 points, so it was still a very close game. And again, this isn't including painting as well. But Nolan, always a good player, always fun to play. It's always like we try and dodge each other almost every single tournament, but we wind up always playing each other. So, and then finally, the last matchup, this was against TJ. He's a fellow Cuddle Buddies player. I don't know if he went 2-0 going into this. I don't know if I got a pair down or not, but he's running the Iron Warriors list, which mean like literally play every single time. So I knew his list coming into it. I knew what it does. I can't reroll the wounds. It's got a lot of good defensive strats. He's got the Terminator Brick, the Veno Crawler, 2 units of Possessed. He's got the Havocs with 2 Plasma, or Jump Infantry with 2 Plasma. He does have Havocs in here somewhere. I think they have autocannons. We have the Disco Priest, the Demon Prince, Lord of the Psyker somewhere in here. He's got the Psyker somewhere in here, but he doesn't have the Illusionary Supplication. So these guys don't have that, so that's good going into it. And then a Maulafine. I really want to try the Maulafine for Chaos, and a Rhino. And then some Cultists and Legionnaires. So this one, guys, this I guess is the definition. We could probably pause it here. This is the definition of Blades of Victory. When somebody deploys on the line that you're like, wow, I really want to kill that and have a really good trade turn 1, which is kind of like putting you really far ahead in the game. Let's go over deployment. This is his deployment. So we have the long table ledges. I think we deploy like 15 or 16 or 18 up. I forget what it is, but it's pretty far up. We have two buildings, and this is our deployment. We have 2 Dreadknights over here, Dreadknight in the middle, interceptors, interceptor strikes, and then servitors again in the back, trying to defend from the deep strike. So, yeah, so you probably already guessed. So this is the deployment. Right, we have 10 Terminators lined up like this. We have the Psyker right here with Libor that can cast 3 times. We have the Demon Prince in the back, Venom Crawler, and the 2 dudes up here with some Cultists. So Cultists, Possessed, Rhino with Havocs, and which I don't know. Can you bring Havocs in the Rhino? I forget. Somebody let me know if they count as 2 or not. I think I asked them during the game, but they might only count as 1. I know they're all medium bases, which he has to replace the bases, but he's got Havocs and Legionnaires in there. So notice 10 Terminators and the dude right on the front line, right? So it's like a hair back, so I can't shoot at him, but I can charge him. So this is the goal. We put the our dude up front, and then we have the interceptors right on the other side of him. And if we get first turn, it's 18-inch threat with the interceptors. So if you're 24 inches away, you technically have a 6-inch charge on turn 1 if they're on the line. So that's what we're doing. We're going balls deep, YOLO right here. So we give them reroll everything because of Draigo. We give them, I think, Sanctuary with this guy. So what you do is they move up 6. Draigo is then 6 inches away from the back guy, gives them full rerolls in the command phase. So they move up 6 inches to here, and then they hop 12 to here, and then they have a 6-inch charge turn 1, right? So that's the goal. We then move up with our dude, our Grandmaster moves up 6 inches, and then he moves up 9 inches to get in range of the Terminators. So if he moves up 6 and then 9, that's 15 inches away, but he's 24. So you're 9 inches away, technically, turn 1 from somebody on the deployment zone. So he's within 12 inches of Empyric Amplification, which we get off. So I think we rolled an 11 with 3 dice, dropped the lowest. So we got an 11, which he couldn't deny, which he could, but he couldn't deny. So Empyric Amplification on the Terminators. We then did Gate of Affinity with Draigo from back here, gating our Grandmaster out of the fucking way to go back in front of these 2 guys or get the reroll 1s to hit. We gave +1 to hit on this Dreadknight from the Tech Priest, so they're all lined up to shoot these freaking Terminators. So again, no Illusionary Supplication, no Feel No Pain, really nothing. So he's only got the Iron Warrior strats, which is the -1 damage, but I don't think he had 2 CP to cast it. So we unloaded everything on the Terminators. He rolled, honestly, like shit. It was... wounded him 5 times with the first Psycannon. He rolled, I think, a 1-1-2-2 out of 5. So I killed 4 Terminators in 1 Psycannon roll, which, again, doesn't really happen that often, but with 3 more Terminators coming into, or 3 more Dreadknights coming into the Terminator squad, we basically lit up the Terminator squad as much as possible. They are no longer there. And we charged his dude. I think there were 2 left. So we charged the Terminators and the Psyker turn 1 with our fully buffed up Interceptor squad. And again, guys, I told him after the game that was probably his biggest mistake, was the Terminators should be either out of line of sight or in cover. Because those 2s then get saved because Psycannons are AP2. They go down AP1, they go down AP0, so he has a 2-up save and cover. So if his Terminators are literally just touching this building or in this building, then they don't die. And his Psyker should never be on the front line anyway. So the Psyker should be literally behind them, behind here, behind there, literally anywhere else. And I think instead of doing that play, I move up and go this way and either kill the, charge the Possessed, shoot the Possessed, charge the Possessed, shoot the Rhino, kill the Rhino, charge the guys. Like, there's a lot of other options that you can use to throw these guys into. And notice what I did afterwards was we laid him out and blocked movement for his turn 1. So he had probably one of the worst turn ones I've ever seen. His Demon Prince can fly over me, but the Venom-Crawler can't move, the Havocs can't, or the Possessed can't move. These guys can only move up on the objective, and everything else has to kind of come this way. So that was a really, really good turn one for the Grey Knights. We got all of our powers off. The Grandmaster is back in play. We moved up, cast a bunch of times. Like, it was a very, very good play, turn one for the Grey Knights. So he's like, well shit. kind of going on the back burner now, but all these guys moved up, ran. We did the same thing. We blocked movement and charges. I didn't want to charge them because he would have just killed me. So we kind of just blocked charges. We wanted to kill this thing as soon as possible. So we wound our Dread Knights moving over to get line of sight on this thing to kind of shoot and kill this thing. Demon Prince hopped over. Venom-Crawler and Possessed finished off these 5 guys, which was pretty easy. These guys got out of the Rhino down here, the Havocs and the Possessed, and then these guys got out as well. So basically, he's got a huge blob over here. We jumped out our Interceptors from the Rhino behind this building, hopped them out. We hopped out these Interceptors, and then these guys, I think, deep struck back here, the strikes. So they deep struck turn 2 to get on the objective, to get OPSEC on the objective, and get some smites off. Or no. Yeah. So we smited, cast on the objective, moved over here, cast on the objective, and then all the dreads kind of moved over and just kept shooting at this this guy over here. Now notice in this corner, he shot his Havocs into my Grandmaster, and I was like, you know what, where's a good spot to go so he doesn't get shot anymore? And we hopped the Grandmaster all the way in this corner with our Sigil, so the teleport shot, and then our strikes deep struck right in front of him to get the points for killing the cultists in this thing over here. So I believe, I don't know if we got it turn 1, the teleport assault. We might have. I don't know if the Grandmaster killed something to get teleport assault. I don't know if he finished off the Terminators or not, but he definitely got it turn 2 by killing these cultists over here. So what we wound up doing was these guys moved up, charged into his, I believe his Legionnaires here, and then we tied up the Havoc. So anytime you could tie up a very good shooting unit, that's kind of the goal. So they move up, charge in, consolidate, and then tie up the Havocs. And that's kind of what happened down here. So this is just a huge slugfest. Havocs are tied up, these guys are tied up, these guys are just going to finish them off, but it doesn't matter, they're tying them up, that's the goal. These guys got shot off. I think we just put all the bolters into them. So we put all the bolters from these Interceptors into the cultists, which I think we left with 1. And then this guy finished off that 1 guy. That's probably how I got the teleport assault. And then these guys moved up and charged the Demon Prince. We finished off this Mauler Fiend because he would have just wrecked me. But this guy's going to do some work over here. That's basically his job, is he just kills whatever he touches over on this side. So his turn 2, moves up, tries to get around this thing. So he moves up 12. Demon Prince, these guys had a 4-up invuln, so Demon Prince moved over and kind of did some work to these guys. Possessed moved up. Venom-Crawler moved up. These guys, there's 1 guy left. Possessed are running up this way to try and get into my my field back here, and Rhino's just chilling. These guys are just super safe in the back here. We did enough wounds to get the Demon Prince down to, I think, how many wounds? 3 or something. It's Zinch, so he always fails the first save. So we get him down to 4 wounds. So he's got 4 wounds left as a Zinch, so I have to do some wounds to him for him to fail. But I'm losing a lot of guys. I don't have a lot of guys left. He still has a bunch of meat on the table. The Havocs are free. These guys are free. The fucking possessed unit are moving towards me. So he's got a lot of dudes left. These guys came down through some plasma into, I think, this dread. And then these strikes are about to die. So what do we do next? We move over the Demon Prince, or this guy, so he's closest to the Demon Prince. Demon Prince is not character protected, or lookout sir, he is, but I'm closest to the Demon Prince, so we're able to finish off the Demon Prince. I don't get teleport assault, but at least we kill the Demon Prince. The strikes move up. This guy moves up. These guys hop out of the Rhino, because again, you gotta do the Rhino trick. Hop out of the Rhino, and I think we finish off these guys in melee. And then we kind of tie up the fucking Venom-Crawler again. So we're blocking off the Venom-Crawler, so that way he can't move into my line. The Dread over here comes out. Other Dread comes out. Draigo moves up, puts Empyric Amplification on this Possessed squad. We base to base, so we can't get anybody on this objective. And we shoot and charge this Possessed squad. The other Dread starts moving out this way to try and put some pot shots into this guy. He's got 1 wound left, and I always forgot that if the Prescient, right? If the Prescient, I didn't run Prescient, but if the Prescient puts the power on one of these characters and they have like 1 or 2 wounds left, if they move, I roll 4 up, and then on a 4 up, they take D3 mortal wounds. So you literally could just kill his guy who has 1 wound left, who's about to heal up to 2 wounds, by him just moving up. And if he charges, it's another 4 up to try and kill him. So I'm thinking like Abaddon, if you're facing Abaddon with Prescient, you could just put it on Abaddon, and then if Abaddon ever moves or charges, he could take potentially 1 to 6 mortal wounds just by him moving it and assaulting. So it's pretty cheeky play with Prescient, which I'd moved into for Mythicus, but he still has some chaff left. We have some chaff left all over the board. We have Draigo just kind of chilling there. So let's go into this. He moved up and charged the Possessed into my Dreadknight, which I have a little guy healing him right behind him. They didn't take a ton of wounds. I didn't take a ton of wounds. Draigo's about to move out and put Empyric Amplification out on them. This guy, I think I moved back so I could shoot and charge with the Dreadknight over here. I think I just moved out to get on this objective to contest. So that's what I did, so that way it stops him from getting the 4 points easily on there. I still own this one. I'm contesting this one. And these are starting to move closer. I want to get those strikes on this objective so I can start casting and putting up a banner. And this tech, I think, exploded himself to go down at 2 wounds. These guys are running. They're still alive somehow. So they're literally running to this objective to try and get banners on the last turn. Let's go into the last turn. We got this guy who gated. I gated him over here to tow this ruin so he can see through it and get on the objective so I can start casting rituals. These guys, again, are running this way. Draigo is moving up to try and finish off these guys. He, I think, gets shot by my Grandmaster or this guy to try and get Shunt. So I think I gated him so he can kill him to try and get the Teleport Assault. He then finished off the the fucking hammer. Venom-Crawler moved up, charged him. He then finished off the Venom-Crawler. This lonely guy is left in the middle. And we wound up with this. So we finished off. The Possessed died with shooting of that guy. The Grandmaster, I think, is somewhere over here to try and cast the power. This guy's on here casting the power. He only took 1 wound. These guys got gated to try and get 2 different casts off. And yeah, I think that was it. So we still have a bunch left. We still have all 3 Dreadknights, which is cool. This guy, auto healing 3 is clutch. So if you're gonna bring Dreads, at least 2+, I would definitely bring this guy to give 1+1 to hit to shooting and healing. Draigo does what Draigo does. He still has got a Rhino over here. And let's go over the points. So we wound up getting 84, which is 94 with paint. But we got 41 for primary, 15 for Teleport Assault. So that was what I was talking about. Getting it turn 1, turn 2, missed it turn 3, but turn 4 and 5, because you're just finishing off units, is great. So if you can get it off turn 1, you're most likely going to get 12 to 15 that game. 14 for Ritual. We got 5 on the last turn. We didn't get any on turn 4. And then we got 14 for, so this one I took Demons. So with Iron Warriors, they like to bring Demon Engines. So if you kill Possess, that's 1. If you kill Demon Mauler Fiend, that's 3. If you kill the Disco Lord, that's 3. If you kill the Demon Prince, that's 3. So we got 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, so we killed the Mauler Fiend, Disco Priest, and Demon Prince. That's 12 points right there. And then we killed 2 Possess units. So that's how we got up to 14. He got 20. So he got 12 for primary. We didn't get any of the secondaries this game. Wind, he got 2. Long War, he took Long War, and again, playing as a KS player, if you're playing against a good competitive tournament scene player, Long War is a trap, I think, unless you're playing maybe 6 objectives. But if you're playing like a 4 objective map or a 5 objective map where they're really far apart, Long War is pretty hard to get, because if I shoot you off your objective, which is the goal, you now don't have that objective and you can't get Long War because I didn't take it from you. Or you charge, kill somebody off the objective, and then consolidate off of the objective. So again, I don't get the objective, or I don't control the objective, so that way you can't take it back from me. So that's kind of how to stop Long War if you're playing against a Chaos player. And then Interrogation, you only got turn 1 because we kept denying it, which I'm sorry, TJ. And then we finally killed the Demon Prince, which he couldn't get Interrogation anymore. And turn 1, he lost his main Psyker. So we got 20 points, which is 30 with painted if he was painted, but 84 to 20. And then in this tournament, I think that's all the pictures. In this tournament, we played based off of how many wins you got, wins loss, and then it was strength of path of victory, which if you win 3, you get it, and then the last thing is however many points you get difference from your opponent. I don't know what it's called, but like example, we beat TJ by 64 in this game, so that gives me 64 points in my overall thing, right? So I kind of like how that's working. It makes sense, because if you it's up in the air, right? Because if somebody, we found in this tournament, if you get somebody had to leave, which somebody had an emergency, they had to leave, the other person gets an auto win 100-0 or 75-0 or something. So they table the other opponent without even playing a game, which kind of pushes them really far up that ranking. So it was kind of tough. I don't know if they get a bye or whatever, but to each his own, right? So we wound up finishing 3-0 at this tournament. Again, it was the biggest RTT we had. It was about 22 people, which is really cool. Like just being able to see new guys coming out, new players getting into the tournament scene. I had a guy walk up to me and he looked me up before the, I guess he was looking up at everybody to see kind of where they were on ITC, which is pretty cool. And he's like, "Oh, you're like the Dreadknight player Northeast, like number 1." I was like, I guess, yeah, what's up? And then we were talking about Dreadknights because he just started Dreadknights. And I was like, yeah, I have the YouTube. And I thought he knew that I was on YouTube, but he didn't know that I was on YouTube. So he's like, "Oh shit, I watch your videos." So just having shit like that, like bringing these videos to the community, even the local community, is really cool. And it makes me want to keep making more videos like this. So I always love feedback. I love suggestions. I love criticism. I love what you guys suggest I should do better at, improve on, video type content. Now, I did make a huge list of content that we're going to be creating on the channel. It's going to be a lot of how-to guides, list building, tournament prep, GT prep, Psychers, Brotherhoods, different armies I play, different legions, chaos videos, all that stuff is going to be coming to the channel. But we're never going to be able to grow unless you guys clicking on this video are going to be subscribing, hitting that notification bell, and liking and commenting on all the videos, so that way it helps with the YouTube algorithm. Every time I watch the video analytics, half of you guys are subscribed that return, half of you guys are watching the videos that aren't subscribed. So if we literally just double our subscriber base, we literally will blow up as a Dirtbag Nation. And if you guys join the Discord, always on there, always commenting, always answering guys' questions about different armies. We play Sisters, Chaos Space Marines, Death Guard, and obviously Grey Knights. So if you guys are any one of those players or just want to join a community to be in the Dirtbag Nation, always definitely comment in there. If you guys are in the Northeast Philadelphia, hit me up for some games. We could always stream. We are getting our streaming set up. I don't have a picture. I sent a picture to my boy Keevil. We have the brick in the background. I bought 12 disc plates, which are these things behind me. They're metal posters, all 40k. So it's going to have 3 disc plates of the army that we're playing behind us while we're streaming. We got the microphones. We got different cameras. So lighting. Everything is going to be good to go. I think Keevil's coming over Monday, which we will be playing live stream. So I think I'm going to post this on this weekend or tomorrow or Friday, and then we're going to be streaming on Monday. So if you guys want to check out that stream, it's going to be Monday, most likely around 6:30, 7 o'clock. It'll be tournament prep for Mythicos. So I'm going to be running my tournament list. He's going to be running his tournament list, and we're just going to do an all-out brawl to get ready for tournament Mythicos on that weekend. It's a 3-day tournament, so guys, I appreciate it. More videos to come. Let me know what you think about these tournament videos. I will keep doing them if you like them, and I will see you in another video soon.